Stop blaming bad luck. If you're an INFJ who keeps attracting toxic people, it's not an accident. It's a pattern you are actively participating in. You have a blind spot, a weakness that manipulators can spot instantly, and they're using it against you every single time. Here's the uncomfortable truth you don't want to hear. You're choosing these people because something inside you needs to be needed. This video will reveal the 3 psychological traps you fall into every time you let the wrong person in, and show you how to turn your intuition back on, once and for all. By the end, you'll understand exactly why your incredible ability to read others fails you when it comes to protecting yourself. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you are looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test, the empathy trap, when your gift becomes bait. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth about INFJ empathy. You don't just understand intellectually, you also experience emotionally. You actually feel them in your body. When someone else is hurting, you're hurting too. When they're excited, that energy flows through you like electricity. This deep empathy acts as a beacon for people who are broken, damaged, or seeking someone to repair them. Here's where it gets dangerous for INFJs. You can't tell the difference between someone who's genuinely going through a tough time versus someone who's a perpetual victim looking for a permanent caretaker. Emotional vampires, and yes, they're real, can sense an INFJ from miles away. These are the people who always seem to be in crisis, always need saving, and somehow never seem to improve despite all the help they receive. They latch onto INFJs because they know they have found someone who won't easily give up on them. The INFJ thinks they're helping someone heal and grow. The emotional vampire thinks they have found an unlimited source of emotional supply. See the problem? But it gets worse because INFJs have what I call the savior complex. You have this incredible ability to see potential in people. You don't just see who someone is right now, you know who they could become. You see the diamond underneath all that rough exterior. You see the good person hiding beneath the addiction, the trauma, or the bad behavior. This vision is actually a gift. It's what makes INFJs great counselors, teachers, and friends. But it becomes a curse when you start believing that your love, understanding, and support can fundamentally change someone who doesn't want to change. Here's what happens. An INFJ meets someone who clearly has issues. Instead of seeing these as red flags, the INFJ sees them as challenges to overcome. They think, everyone else gave up on this person, but I won't. I see the real them underneath all this pain. Months or even years later, the INFJ is exhausted, depleted, and wondering why nothing changed despite all their effort. That's because you can't fix people who don't want to repair themselves. You just can't. Manipulators and narcissists exploit this empathy trap by mirroring depth. They'll share just enough vulnerability to make you feel like you found a kindred spirit. They'll ask the right questions, say the right things, and create this illusion of a soul-deep connection. INFJs fall for this because genuine deep connections are so rare for you. When you think you have found someone who operates on your wavelength, you hold on tight. You ignore the inconsistencies, excuse the bad behavior, and convince yourself that the connection you felt at the beginning was real. However, here's the thing. Real depth reveals itself through consistent action over time, not just through intense conversations at the outset. The authenticity paradox. Why good people assume everyone else is good. Here's where things get really twisted for INFJs. Because you're so authentic yourself, you assume others are too. This makes you surprisingly gullible when it comes to people who can convincingly fake authenticity. The wrong people know that INFJs respond to vulnerability and realness, so they perform it. They'll share a traumatic story from their past. They'll cry at just the right moment. They'll say things like, "I've never told anyone this before," or "You're the only one who really understands me." Your authentic nature leads you to believe these performances are genuine. What you don't realize is that you're watching a well-rehearsed show explicitly designed to hook you. INFJs project their own moral compass onto others. You operate from such a place of integrity that you can't imagine someone deliberately deceiving you. When someone tells you they love you, you believe them, because that's what love means to you. When someone promises to change, You believe them because you would keep that promise. This projection makes you blind to manipulation tactics that would be obvious to more cynical personality types. The wrong people exploit this by matching your energy in the beginning. They reflect your intensity, depth, and commitment to growth. Once they have you hooked, the mask starts to slip. But by then, you're already emotionally invested and making excuses for the inconsistencies. There's also the boundary problem that nobody wants to address directly. INFJs struggle with boundaries, not because you don't know what they are, but because you feel guilty enforcing them. You worry that setting a firm boundary makes you cold, uncaring, or selfish. So what happens? You say yes when you mean no. You give more than you have to offer. You accept behavior you shouldn't take. The wrong people test boundaries early and often. When they discover that your boundaries are more like suggestions than rules, they move right in and make themselves comfortable. Here's the part that might sting. Your intuition is actually screaming warnings at you, but you override it with logic. You'll meet someone and immediately get a sense that something's off, that this person isn't safe, or that this relationship is going to be problematic. But then you tell yourself that your intuition might be wrong this time, that you're being too harsh, or that everyone deserves a fair chance. The wrong people absolutely love it when you ignore your intuition. That gut feeling was your early warning system, and they just watched you turn it off voluntarily. There's also the loneliness factor that makes this whole trap even more effective. Because INFJs are so rare, and because you need such specific types of connections, you go long periods without meeting people who really get you. When someone comes along who seems to understand you, you hold on tight. Even if there are red flags, even if your intuition is screaming warnings, you think, this might be my only chance to have the connection I've been craving. The wrong people prey on this loneliness. They position themselves as the answer to your isolation, creating a sense of urgency and specialness that makes you afraid to walk away. The strategic solution: turning your insight inward. Here's what you need to understand about breaking this pattern. You're not broken, and you don't need to fundamentally change who you are. The problem is that you're applying these gifts in the wrong direction. Think about it. You can read other people's emotions, motivations, and patterns with scary accuracy, but when it comes to your own situation, you're completely blind. You offer excellent advice to others about their toxic relationships, but when it comes to your own life, suddenly it's different. It's more complicated. Spoiler alert, it's not that unique. The solution is learning to turn that incredible insight inward. When you meet someone new, instead of immediately diving into who they could become, ask yourself, who are they right now, today? Focus on their patterns, not their potential. What do their actions tell you about their character? Instead of making excuses for their behavior, ask yourself, would I tell a friend to tolerate this? Your intuition is your superpower, but only if you actually listen to it. That gut feeling that something's off, it's trying to protect you. Stop overruling it with logic, rationalization, or benefit of the doubt thinking. Boundaries aren't mean or selfish, they're necessary. You can't be good to anyone if you're completely depleted. Start small. Practice saying no to things you don't want to do. Practice speaking up when something bothers you. Please understand that being alone is often better than being with the wrong person. Loneliness is temporary and manageable. The damage from a toxic relationship can last for years. The right people don't need you to fix them. They're doing their own work, and they want a partner, not a parent. They respect your boundaries, give as much as they take, and make you feel energized, not drained. So here's the key insight. You attract the wrong people because you tolerate them. The moment you stop accepting behavior that drains you, the moment you start trusting your intuition, the moment you realize your energy is precious and finite, everything changes. Awareness is the first step to breaking this pattern. You're not doomed to repeat this cycle forever. Comment below and share your experience with this trap. Subscribe for more INFJ insights, and remember, your sensitivity is a gift, not a weakness. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.